So, if you are a client of mine, you have probably heard many, many, many times come out of my mouth that we need to focus a lot on our self talk. Self talk is everything from my perspective as a mental health therapist. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it today for that reason. What I think a lot of people are lacking in life is the knowledge or awareness around how much we can control our thoughts and how those thoughts affect how we feel on a daily basis. And I think that, one of the things as a therapist that is ironic is that a lot of what the research has shown to be true as far as improving upon our mental health seems almost too easy, like too good to be true. And I think this is really one of those things. Now, easy might be debatable, sometimes easier said than done, but what we tell ourselves in our heads is so important to how we feel. It's so important to how our days go. We have basically the ability to regulate how our days go and how we feel about the situations around us, whether they're good or bad. And so the one thing that I really push with any of my clients, regardless of what they're dealing with, is focusing on, and it's cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, but what are the thoughts that you're having? If I'm talking to somebody who is in the process of a divorce, and we all know, if you've been through it, even if you haven't, you can imagine it is really hard to go through those phases and the emotions that come along with it. What's going on in your head on a difficult day? You might wake up some days and it's easier than others, but on the days that are really hard, what is the self-talk? And we do have a level of unconscious awareness in regards to the things that we tell ourselves. So your first step might actually be to start paying attention to the thoughts that you have or your self-talk. So self-talk doesn't necessarily mean you're talking out loud to yourself or you're crazy. We all have self-talk. We all have thoughts that are running in our head all the time. So if you're not really sure how you talk to yourself, just pay attention to where your mind goes and what those thoughts are throughout the day when you're not talking verbally to other people. That's your self-talk. And again, sometimes that is unconscious or kind of subconscious for us, but a lot of times we're fully aware of it too. And that is the first step. So paying attention, when I wake up on the wrong side of bed, if that's what we want to say, just a more difficult day, there's two different scenarios if we really think about this. So if I were to duplicate myself, same situation, let's say I'm going through a divorce, and me over here, A, and then me over here, B. So the A version of myself gets up out of bed. I know I'm not feeling well. I know I'm upset. I know I'm sad. I know I'm mad. But I'm it sucks. This day is probably going to be hard for me. But I know there's little that I can do about it at this point. It is what it is. What can I focus on that's going to help me get up and get moving this morning? Okay. And then person B over here, myself, might wake up, feel those same feelings, know that I'm in that same situation, and think this is going to be a terrible day. I literally hate everything about relationships. I'm mad at my ex. I'm mad at the whole situation with the kids. I hate my job. I'm tired all the time. Any thought that I have that is negative, whether it's correlated to or not to the situation that I'm in, is just going to dampen my mood that day. It's going to bring me down. So I'm essentially draining from the bucket that I have just by saying that kind of things, those kinds of things to myself. So already, A and B here, A's energy is a little bit up here, even though the situation is difficult, and B's down here. Same situation, same emotions, same person, right? And throughout the day, what we notice is the more that you're able to kind of dispute some of those tough thoughts, stop the negative, which again, easier said than done, but we can start to notice yourself thinking negatively about the other person. and, being mad about whatever it is that they've said or done or what got you into that situation. Stop those thoughts and think about what you do have control over and what things in your life you could be and can be thankful for. What positive things do you have going for you? How can you redirect your attention to something that will fill your bucket as opposed to drain it? Because as we go throughout our days, every single thought we have has the ability to drain from our bucket or fill it. And the people who are resilient and make it through life and the challenges that we face are those that really have learned how to fill their bucket, even in the midst of very traumatic, hard situations. Where if I'm going through a divorce, it's almost like someone came up and popped a hole in the bottom of my bucket. So I'm seeping anyway, but I'm not pouring. I'm seeping out a little bit until that wound is healed and I don't feel like I'm being drained as much. So you can't avoid some of the down, sad feelings or even anger, but you absolutely can control how much you contribute to that bucket, how much you force yourself to think positively, because with every positive thought comes more volume in that bucket for you. And I really try to push that with every client I have. And I don't ever want to discount feelings or invalidate, because your feelings are definitely valid, and hurt is hurt, and it's not easy to go through. Anger is another thing. It's not easy, and we don't want to go through that. So it's okay to feel what you feel, but there's a strong difference in waking up and being like, in this situation, right? Another day, it might be hard for me. I feel really sad and really upset, and I don't know how I'm going to make it through. That's okay. But we add to that. I know I can do this. I believe that I am strong and I have the ability to push myself through, even if it's one step at a time. I have a great family support system, friends, job, and so I'm going to focus on what in my life is going well. And with each day that you do that, and each time that you say that to yourself, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And what you notice is a huge change in your life and the way you view the world around you. What's interesting is we have learned that basically when we speak negatively out loud to ourselves, our brain, even if we're joking, our brain doesn't know the difference. So if I'm going to be like, I feel bad about myself, I'm struggling with my self-worth, I am ugly, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm worthless, no one's ever going to love me, whatever words like that. When you say that, of course, if you feel that way, that's horrible. And your body's definitely and your brain's gonna definitely feel that. But even if I'm like, haha, I know I'm super lazy, even though I run marathons every day. Sometimes your brain just really doesn't know the difference. So it is not worth taking a risk of mentioning, thinking, saying those things about yourself if they're negative. Your brain, the more you say stuff like that, will actually pick it up and hold on to it. Another thing that's really important about self-talk is knowing that there is a level of a self-fulfilling prophecy that we have to be aware of. So the more I say something negative, the more my body and my brain starts paying attention to situations that are negative. So I use an example, which I think we've all been through, in traffic, right? I love traffic. It's my favorite. But when we are in a hurry, everybody's going slow. All the stupid people come out, right? We get really frustrated. It's like, could there be any more people on the road that don't know how to drive, right? So we're focused, like I'm in a hurry and I'm noticing every single car that gets in my way. Because I'm in a hurry, I'm more hyper aware and noticing those things. Now, I could be in the exact same traffic situation, but not in a hurry, having a good day, no big deal, and I'm chilling. Like, that person's really dumb, like they shouldn't have pulled out there. That was risky. I might get a little irritated, but I'm not gonna overdo it in the sense that I am focusing on the fact that everybody that doesn't know how to drive came out, and like catastrophizing in some ways, just making it so much worse than what it is. Because when I start to look for people that can't drive, I'm going to see people that can't drive. If I'm just driving and I'm happy and content and whatever, there could be people, yes, that don't know how to drive, but I'm not going to notice them because I'm not looking for them. And so a lot of times it's not really that the slow people come out when we're in a hurry. It's just the slow people are there all the time, but we just notice it when we're in a hurry. And life goes the same way as far as your negative thoughts. So the more you focus on positive, the more your eyes actually, it's like putting rose-colored glasses on. You do improve your chances of experiencing a more positive life. So really try to challenge yourself to watch your self-talk, much in the same way that you wouldn't want your child to speak badly about themselves or to themselves. You shouldn't do it to yourself either. Start to notice when you feel down what you tell yourself, and stop those thoughts and force yourself to think of things that are positive. I promise you that when you do this, you're going to notice that it changes the way you speak, it changes the way you act, and it changes the way you experience life. You literally will watch your life transform in front of you as you learn to do this. And it is such an incredible thing when you experience it. So easy, right? I know sometimes easier said than done, but it is as simple as one, paying attention, be aware of what that self-talk is, and start changing it. If you're not sure what to replace that negative thought with, it doesn't matter, honestly, even if it's related or unrelated to whatever the issue is. It could be like, you know what? Well, everything seems to suck, but I have a roof over my head. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I am thankful that I have a roof over my head. Great. Then make that your focus. Whatever you can think of, and there's always something to be thankful for. Focus on those things. Kind of weed out the negative thoughts and watch your life change in front of you. Keep me posted. Let me know how it's going for you.